Queen Margrethe II of Denmark gives an interview ahead of her back surgery next week. King Charles III of the United Kingdom hosts a reception in London. More drama emerges about Grand Duchess Maria Theresa of Luxembourg and her maids. And members of the Belgian royal family attend a special memorial mass in Brussels. All this and much more coming up next on your Royal Daily News. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Alexandra, and this is your Royal Daily News for February 17th, 2023. In Brussels, Their Majesties King Philippe and Queen Mathilde of the Belgians attended the annual memorial mass for deceased members of the Belgian royal family held at the Église Notre-Dame de Laeken. Other members of the royal family were also in attendance, including Their Majesties Emeritus King Albert II and Emerita Queen Paula of the Belgians, Their Royal Highnesses Prince Laurent and Princess Claire of Belgium, Her Royal Highness Princess Delphine and her husband Mr. James O'Hare, and Their Royal Highnesses Prince Guillaume and Princess Sibylla of Luxembourg. According to the Belgian royal court, this tradition, quote, dates back to the last century. On February 17, 1935, a mass was celebrated in memory of King Albert I, who died accidentally in 1934. Following Queen Astra's death on the 29th of August 1935, it was decided to commemorate all deceased members of the royal family on the 17th of February. Since then, a mass has been celebrated every year on this date to pay their respects. After mass, the royal family descends into the royal crypt located in the church. End quote. In Tokyo, Her Imperial Highness Princess Kako of Akishino viewed the exhibition entitled 100 Contemporary Female Calligraphers, held at the Nihombashi Takashimaya Department Store. According to a press release, the exhibition displays various works by, quote, leading women calligraphers in 7 different styles and categories, end quote. In Copenhagen, Her Majesty Queen Margrethe II of Denmark recently gave a rare interview with the editor-in-chief of the Danish weekly newspaper Weekendavisen, Mr. Martin Krasnick. In the interview, which took place inside her private library at Christian IX's palace at Amalienborg, Her Majesty the Queen reflected on her life, the late Queen Elizabeth II, her impressions of several heads of state and world leaders, such as Russian President Vladimir Putin, in which she noted that she had, quote, never seen such cold eyes in my life before, end quote, the future of the Danish monarchy, and much more. When speaking about her son and heir, His Royal Highness Crown Prince Frederik of Denmark, Her Majesty said, quote, the most important thing is that someone must and can take over. When I let go of the reins, he's there. I am a link in a very long chain that continues, and I believe that he will probably find out, end quote, meaning that he'll find his own unique path as sovereign. When asked about her decision to remove the styles and titles from her second son, His Royal Highness Prince Joachim of Denmark's 4 children, last September, Her Majesty the Queen said that she had underestimated how they would be affected by her decision. Her Majesty the Queen went on to say, quote, it was a necessary safeguard for the future of the monarchy. For me, it has been important that it should not be Frederik's choice to make such a decision. It was better that it was me. Because then, it is the old woman who has decided it. But it's a little too close yet to talk about, end quote. When speaking about the late Queen Elizabeth II, Her Majesty the Queen said that she was, quote, 96 and active almost to the end. She was a wonderful and very straightforward person. I used to call ahead when I was in London at Christmas time and asked if we could see each other. Then she invited me to lunch at Buckingham Palace and we talked. Sometimes Prince Philippe was there. It was decidedly nice. After all, we are close relatives with a parallel fate. My maternal grandmother was an English princess, and my maternal grandfather was one of Queen Victoria's sons, end quote. When asked if she had seen, well, the not exactly historically accurate Netflix drama The Crown, Her Majesty the Queen replied, quote, no, I have refrained from doing that. I have known the family so well that it would annoy me to no end to see them say things they would never say or speak in a way I do not think they would speak, end quote. If you're interested in reading the entire Weekendavisen article in Danish, as well as paying 9 Danish krone for unlimited access reading for 10 weeks, in the description box below, I will leave a direct link to the Weekendavisen article. Yesterday afternoon in Oslo, His Majesty King Harald V of Norway held a meeting with the governor of Minnesota, Mr. Tim Walz, at the Royal Palace. According to the Norwegian Royal Court, Governor Walz is visiting Norway on the occasion of the Nor-Rex collaboration. For 50 years, the Minnesota National Guard and the Norwegian Home Guard have had, quote, close political and military cooperation, and each organization has learned a great deal from each other. Last year, when Her Majesty Queen Sonja of Norway visited Minnesota, she met with representatives of Nor-Rex and witnessed a new signing agreement. The new agreement ensures the continuation of the Minnesota National Guard and the Norwegian Home Guard collaboration. End quote. Last evening, Their Royal Highnesses Crown Prince Haakon and Crown Princess Mette-Marit of Norway attended a commemoration event in support of the victims of the war in Ukraine, held outside the Nobel Peace Center in Oslo. Held under the theme Hope in the Darkness of War and organized by Caritas, the Norwegian Refugee Council, the Church's Aid, the Norwegian People's Aid, Save the Children, and the Norwegian Red Cross, as well as the Nobel Peace Center, the commemoration event highlighted the need for help and the care for all those affected by the war in Ukraine. In London, His Majesty King Charles III of the United Kingdom held an audience this morning with the President of the Republic of Poland, Mr. Andrzej Duda, at Buckingham Palace. In the afternoon, His Majesty the King hosted a reception at Buckingham Palace in support of Global Biodiversity. According to Buckingham Palace, the reception, quote, provided an opportunity to discuss the practical delivery of the Global Biodiversity Framework. Guests included the Secretary of State for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, the Right Honourable Therese Coffey MP, and ministers from the UK government. The King also met a number of CEOs who are members of the Sustainable Markets Initiative, as well as ministers from international governments and indigenous representatives. End quote. And finally, just when we all thought that the drama between Her Royal Highness Grand Duchess Maria Theresa of Luxembourg and the core Grand Ducal staff was over, well, it's not even close. According to the Luxembourg news organization RTL via the newspaper Luxemburger Land, new details have emerged regarding last October's unfortunate incident, or as the newspaper calls it, quote, mistreatment of staff, end quote. So, what are the new details? Well, according to RTL via Luxemburger Land, quote, things got out of hand during the weekend of October 29th, 2022, when the Grand Duchess wanted to try on clothes before a photo shoot for the wedding of her daughter, Princess Alexandra, in April 2023. Additional staff had to be called in as the maids and wardrobe staff reported being overwhelmed. On the following Monday, the Grand Duchess summoned the court-martial and her personal assistants to lecture them about, quote, poor organization, end quote. Oh, Lord have mercy. Their clothes. I mean, seriously, people. Anyway, so on the week of November 8th, 2022, the Prime Minister of Luxembourg, and he's a nice guy, by the way, Mr. Xavier Bettel, decided to pop on in the lovely Palais Grand Ducal unannounced to have a little chit-chat about this latest drama with Grand Duke Henri and Grand Duchess Maria Theresa. During their meeting, talks allegedly led to disagreements within the management committee of the House of the Grand Duke. RTL goes on to write that, quote, after his end-of-the-year leave, the director of the court-martial's office is said to have returned only once for a meeting on January 19th, 2023, end quote. According to the Luxemburger Land, upon hearing the news that the director of the court-martial's office was essentially, well, never around, Prime Minister Bettel, quote, set an ultimatum, end quote. What that is, I have absolutely no idea, but I'm pretty sure he was, not exactly a happy camper. Anyway, nonetheless, as usual, another report is due in March about the situation, which is, in my opinion, totally useless. And in the meantime, Prime Minister Patel is allegedly, quote, monitoring the situation very closely and wants it resolved as quickly as possible, end quote, according to RTL. So, what does that mean? More drama. And there you have it. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow on Saturday, February 18th with all the latest royal news. Until then, I wish you all a wonderful Friday evening and a great weekend. And also, for those of you who are celebrating, happy Carnival, everyone. In my neck of the woods, Carnival starts actually tonight and lasts until February 21st. So it's going to be quite hectic in my neck of the woods. So with that being said, again, have a wonderful evening, everyone, and I will see you all tomorrow. Oh, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want to. If not, that's cool. Okay. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.